Well, good afternoon. Today is day 127, May the 7th. For those of you doing the one-year Bible, we've got 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1, chapter 2, verse 21. We've got John chapter 5, verse 1 through 23, Psalm chapter 105, verse 37 through 45, and Proverbs chapter 14, verse 28 through 29. Excuse me, I've been eating some peaches. I love canned peaches. So if I've got any peaches stuck to my mustache, I apologize. Oh, today I want to look at Samuel. We're just getting going here in Samuel. I just want to look at it real quick. There's some intriguing things here. 1 Samuel chapter 1, I just want to look at verse 12 through 20. This is just one small section that's just a small piece of a collection of stories where God ends up miraculously giving child to someone. So let's look at this. 12 through 20. As she continued praying before the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was speaking in her heart, and only her lips moved, and her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli, he's the priest, took her to be a drunken woman. And Eli said to her, "How long will you go on being drunk? Put your wine away from you." But Hannah answered, "No, my lord, I am a woman troubled in spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. Do not regard your servant as a worthless woman, for all along I've been speaking out of my great anxiety and vexation." Then Eli answered her, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have made to him." And she said, "Let your servant find favor in your eyes." Then the woman went on her way, and she ate, and her face was no longer sad. Verse 19, they rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord. Then they went back to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. And in due time Hannah conceived and bore a son. She called his name Samuel, for she said, "I have asked for him from the Lord." So like I was saying, there's just a handful of stories of these miraculous births where women couldn't have children, but they petitioned and prayed before the Lord, and then they had children. You've got Isaac. Remember Abraham and Sarah, Abram and Sarai? They couldn't have kids, and they began praying, and then God blessed them with Isaac. Then you've got Samson. Remember his folks, they couldn't have kids, and they prayed, and then they had Samson. Now we've got Samuel. And then we've got John the Baptist in the New Testament. He's the precursor to Christ. He's the one that comes before Jesus to boldly proclaim in the wilderness that the Messiah is coming. Each one of these characters that we read about is a phenomenal and powerful character. But even aside from this small handful of kids who were born to folks who couldn't give birth, really the idea of having a child is miraculous to begin with. It's just mind-blowing. Just looking at how all the little pieces and parts and cells and DNA replicate and build and grow into a child that then gets born into this world. It's really astounding. Having kids is a powerful thing. Even beyond the miracle of it, the kids, they change things. Those of you who have had kids, you know they change things. They in their development, in their spirituality, in their walk, they end up swaying and changing the direction of cultures and nations. It's important to not take that lightly. I think again, you're evident with the cultures being changed with Isaac, Samson, Samuel, John the Baptist. But beyond them, you see guys that end up changing nations. David. You see Saul. We've got Moses, Elijah. We've got all of these guys that end up being somebody's child and changing a nation, making a huge impact. And I think very easily we as parents, very easily we as really a culture, take casually the idea of children procreating, or take casually the raising of children. But we take casually what God does and desires to do miraculously. So I just want to challenge you with this. Don't take casually the things that God has given great power. Because when you do that, you limit what He is able to do. And you kind of end up getting in His way. Take care of yourselves out there.